Hi traders. Alright, so I was just completed doing the consolidation zone video, and as I was doing it, I started noticing that the market is really moving and setting up now for our simple forex strategy that we've got, which is the 50 and 200 cross one. Let's make sure the volume is high. Now, this is key in understanding this strategy. Okay, so let's start off with Euro USD and we'll just scan our way through. The cross happened for us during London there. Market came down, pushed all the way back up during the middle of the New York session. At this stage, remember again, we're saying we're looking for pattern formations to happen. The pattern formation did happen here, but it's in the middle of the New York session. Second half of New York session, we're expecting it to be dead, so we don't really look for entries there. We also pay attention to which currency pair, Euro USD. I'm not really expecting any sort of a significant move with this happening during Asian session, so we'll wait for this to do its movements towards the end of Asian session going into London, right? You can apply for binary traders. If you zoom in, you can apply your EMA 6 reversals off of this. Just keep in mind you apply your buffers to that as well. See these ones here. At some point, draw your fibs in and utilize them that way. Just make sure again your buffers are in place. Euro JPY, these ones are now moving beautifully. Cross happened for us towards the start of the New York session. Market came down, consolidated through the New York session. Now, this is the sort of behavior that we've been talking about in previous videos in regards to this strategy, where the market does come back and commune with the EMA 50 at some stage, right? Zoom in. Communes with the EMA 50 at some stage, but we don't take a trade straight off the hit to the 50, which is at some point here you'd think, okay, we've got a bit of an evening star pattern happening and we'll take a trade straight off that. We don't do that, right? What we do is we wait for the market to give us somewhat of a pattern formation. So if we zoom out again, if you look at this clearly, you could probably say a couple of things that are coming off of this. One is this is possibly a bit of a shoulder, this is another shoulder, and this is the head. So we've got a head and shoulders pattern happening, right? And you can tell straight off the bat here that as soon as this has happened, we're expecting the market to bounce back up and give us either a double top, a triple top, or a head and shoulders pattern. That's how you start recognizing it. This wave here, the market slows down, and you can look at taking an entry after this candle here. So take an entry off the pullback here. If you've missed it, take the entry off the second candle here. With your head and shoulders pattern, what should I use? You'd probably look at this somewhere here or here being your entry point, or where that shoulder is cut off and then you start jumping in, okay? If you were to jump in at the end of this candle here, and this is, by the way, this is the candle, Euro JPY, where I actually did my binary trade on the previous video, okay? So if you were, it's now roughly 50 something minutes, you would be very comfortably about 25 pips in the money. It's as simple as that. Going in from the pattern here, the cross happens, we're waiting for the communion to happen with the EMA 50, and then pattern formation, and then market moves down. Euro JPY did this, so we jump onto correlated pairs, pound JPY, AD JPY, CHF JPY. In this case, same thing. Cross happens for us here in the middle of the London session. Market comes down, consolidates second half of New York. We're going into consolidation in first half of Asian session as well. Now, this is the first bit of a wave. This is the second hit, right? Market slows down. We've got a doji, evening star pattern. You would have considered maybe a trade-off here above, which would have been for binary, above the Babylon slope line. It would have been a tiny win. So let me zoom in there. Tiny win. And then you probably would have considered an entry on this candle here, right? So if you would have taken that trade so far, you would have been about, given spreads, about maybe 10 pips in the money. Both of them combined, you've already hit your 35 pips for the day if that's your goal, right? ADJPY, it's doing the same thing, I assume. Yep, look at this. It crosses in during the New York session, comes down, consolidates, goes up, hits once, comes down, goes back up, wick to the high, and you can, when you know there's going to be this gravitational pull down, you can trade these wicks here. This one in particular, I wouldn't do too many of them, but just do this one here on binary, right? Market consolidates, and then straight after this candle here, you take your entry. So with all three pairs, this one from there to present moment is about 7 pips given spreads. We'll give that a 5 or a 6. Already into 40 pips in the money. CHF JPY, same deal. Look at it, it's the same thing. This is more of like a head and shoulders pattern. It's the same thing happening in all of these currency pairs. So you wouldn't take an entry off here, right? Again, Asian session wise, I kind of want to wait till it's past my midday in Sydney before I start taking these trades. But in any case, where this is pulled down, you could take your entry here or probably the next one just for confirmation. And again, in this case, so far in 45 minutes, you were roughly given spreads about 15 pips in the money. That's your 50 combined with 1, 2, 3, 4 currency pairs. You've hit your 50 already. You decide how long you want to stay in that trade. Right? Again, if we keep calculating from this point to this point, that's now at about 23, 22. Combined again, guys, you're 50 pips in the money. Total time spent in the trades itself, possibly an hour. Analysis-wise, you would have seen this yesterday. So today, you would have woken up, looked at this consolidation, looked at this cross, and then expected the market to bounce back to the 50 and give you some sort of a pattern. What pattern you're looking for is this. If the market's coming down, you're waiting for a head and shoulders, or you're waiting for a double top or a triple top. And by that I mean market goes, hits the MA50, comes down and issues you with another spike. So this is a perfect video right now. This is happening in real time. Analyze these, right? What you would then expect if you have missed it is to say, okay, at some point you're going to get a continuation pattern like this one here. These 3 candles here. So at some point the market will pull up, maybe one candle and the next candle, an aggressive push down, and then you could probably say, okay, I'm going to look for an entry to go south, or you might say, okay, this either will just continue going south, or this may begin to consolidate, and then at some point during London, it might spike up again and then head down, or something along those lines. But that's what you're expecting. A couple of things, either continuation, look at news, see if there's any significant releases happening, and the markets might use that to do a spike up. But you're now familiar with the directional move the market's going to make, right? So use it to your advantage. Same thing, pound JPY. Look at this. Let me zoom out a bit so you can see this pattern more clearly. This double top, that's precisely what we're looking for. Okay? Combine them. You've done your 30, 50 pips for the day. Go to the beach. That's it. Again, at some point, consolidation may happen and may spike back up because we're still very early in the Asian session. It's only 1:30 p.m. in Sydney right now. So we're expecting this market to kind of probably continue doing this for a while, maybe go back up again before it starts to head down. But you could have so easily just traded this, banked your 30, 50 pips, and you're done. So for those of you that are watching this video, go back to your charts right now and study this movement. That's all you're expecting on Monday. If you see a pattern formation happen, fantastic, trade that one. If not, wait for it by Tuesday, late New York session Monday, or some point in Tuesday, where the market will consolidate, come back, the 50 and 200 to cross, come back, commune, and then look for your pattern. Again, don't just go off the bat. Look for a pattern and then trade the confirmation of your pattern. And whilst you're doing that, you can actually apply binary trades to that as well. Remember, in this case where we did see it, I think it happened in pound JPY as well. Not that so much. This was clear for us. where we got evening star patterns, candlestick patterns, trade them. You can trade this one, you can trade this one here. It's the one I traded. You do 1 or 2 of those throughout the day or within the session, you're fantastic. All right, all the best. Actually, no, hold on a second. Before I say all the best, let's have a look at what the USD pairs are doing. Okay, these are all still in consolidation mode. They're good. That's what we're looking for. Okay, this so far, what's this doing in the Asian session? Okay, we've hit about 32 pips or so. We'll wait to see what this does later on. A couple of things could happen here. Possibly it has hit its official low for the week and then it's going to continue going up, or this may go and do a spike to the 200 before it comes back down. We wait for confirmations. This is way too choppy for my liking, so we ignore that one. USD CHF, this is another beautiful pair. What is it doing? It's consolidating nicely for us, right? So we now wait and see what it's going to do. It may spike back up to the EMA 50, even go somewhere between the 200 and the 50. We can utilize our fibs as well. Okay, so I'm going to bring it all the way down to the low of the New York as well. And we're going to say, okay, if it comes up, if it does go up again, it will come in commune with the 200 at about the 38.2 mark. But we should see somewhat of a spike up. So again, what are we doing? We get rid of our fib first, and we draw our lines in. Remember, consolidation zones, our friend. Draw lines in, and we'll come back to see what that friend does later on. Okay, we can draw some lines in here as well if you want. I'll do it here. These ones can be rough. You can do it on the body, you can do it on the wick, doesn't really matter. I'll get rid of these lines. Because what you're looking for is a particular behavior, a pattern formation or something. Same thing with your USD. And what I'd like for you guys to do is, under this video, study these consolidation zones that's presently forming, and let me know. Let me know what you get. Do you see where does the market break out to? What are you seeing? Are you seeing patterns? Where is that directional move going to happen? Start talking to yourself, right? I don't care if your friends and your family think you're going nuts. Start talking to yourself verbally out loud, where you're telling yourself, okay, this is what the market's doing presently. I'm expecting it to break past either this line or this line, and then continually tell yourself what's going on. Is it forming a pattern? Is it giving me any sort of indication as to whether this is a false move or it's going to continue going up? I can't see any specific news releases, blah, 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 or I do see some specific news releases about to happen, and that's the reason why the market's doing what it's doing, and then I'm expecting it to do this, or I'm expecting it to do this, right? Tell yourself that and write it down in the YouTube section as well, and then come back and measure against that, constantly improve upon that. And what you'll find is you're an amazing trader before you know it. Keep it simple, please. Keep it extremely simple. Get all the complication crap out of your head. If you're in groups, jump out of them unless they're helping you. Don't listen to anyone. The only thing that you should be paying attention to is what the charts are telling you, right? And tell everything else to piss off. All right, guys, best of luck.